Hey.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to our Delta Green actual play. Um, just a quick reminder that Delta Green is a story of eldritch horrors in the modern day, and Impossible Landscapes is all about surreal horror. So we may or may not, depending on where the players go, be covering various topics in horror, including not limited to body horror, loss of self, surreal delusions, hallucinations, and all kinds of mental problems. So watch it your own risk. Yeah. And the dogs are always welcome. All right.
We did not plan that, by the way.
Right. This is
Maybe
our
if we
fifth.
did, they'll never know.
Yeah, this is our fifth and final episode of season one. We were going to try to do six episodes, but schedule-wise, things just didn't work out. So we're stopping at 5, and then we will be back on or around August 14th with episode 1 of season 2. So stay on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, there'll be some other stuff which we'll talk about toward the end of the show. Right, so quick recap. Would either of you three like to do a recap of what we did last time? Take that as a no. That's fine.
Not it.
Yeah, some people like to, some people don't. Thought I would ask. So what we did last time was basically spent the morning in Abigail Wright's apartment, looking for more clues. Spent some time talking to people. Spent some time doing some research. And then spent the oh no wait, that was actually the time before. Yesterday was the afternoon. Yeah, our last episode was the afternoon of the 11th. So it is currently Friday, August 11th. They have spent the afternoon basically interviewing people, pulling together a sense of what's going on. It is increasingly clear that there's either some sort of mass madness going on in the building, or possibly something even worse on the order of, warped space-time, ripples in reality, that sort of thing. And they're about to try to figure that out. Last episode, we lost Agent Grimshaw, who went up to the 3rd floor to do some investigating and never came back. Yeah, Pennywise, definitely. Pennywise was it would totally be a Delta Green episode. That would be. Yeah, so Agent Grimshaw went missing, so that's sort of high on everyone's priorities. Gourmet had a meeting with Agent Marcus, their handler for this Operation Alice, and he was very concerned with the missing agent, and basically, doubled down on figure it out quick, and put a stop to it. And then if you can, also save Grimshaw. Meanwhile, let's see. That was probably the most important thing from last session. Greeby talked to the gallery where Wright had her last showing of her art. Didn't get too much information from that, other than that everything seemed fine. It did add to the timeline because this was back in February, so it showed that at least in February everything seemed to be normal in her life, and it was really around May and June where things may have started to go weird, when she disappeared on June 1st ish. Yeah, any questions you guys have before we get started? All good? Okay. So in my notes, I have that things that you wanted to do sort of right off, because it's currently, we left off at about 6:30 in the evening. Gourmet had just gotten back from his meeting with Marcus at around 6 over in the park. So it's around 6:30 right now. Gaucher had stated just before we left that he was going to run off to the deli, grab some sandwiches and stuff, bring it back so they could have food here in the building while they figured out what to do next. While he was off doing that, Greedy wanted to review the recordings that she had made, because she set up surveillance all over the building, video in Wright's apartment and audio in the hallways, and then some of the empty rooms upstairs, and then out on the roof, a video and audio setup. Um, and then I didn't catch. I don't have anything in my notes as to what Gourmet was specifically thinking of doing right at this time, other than getting prepared to for dusk to fall, and see what kind of changes happen in the building and what you can investigate.
Yeah.
So why don't we start off with what Greeby finds on audio? Um, you specifically are looking at the feed from the room that you determined Grimshaw disappeared in, right? That's the first one you want to listen to.
The one where we his footprints.
Yeah. So walk me through how you are doing it. If it's not, I assume it. Are you going to rewind to the beginning of when you turned it on and listen through it all? Do you have some other sort of algorithm that you plan to use, or?
If it's time stamped, I mean, I think she would have an idea of like when she last saw him go, like when she last saw him, go into the room versus, and she would probably start there. I mean,
okay, yeah. So you spend a little bit of time kind of homing in on what might go on, and you do hear Grimshaw enter the room, and like he's puttering around, humming to himself a little bit as he's working. You can hear, footsteps shuffling around, and kind of moving around the apartment. It's just a single microphone, so it's kind of hard to get direction from that, but you can at least get, distance from the microphone as things go in and out. And it's really easy to pick up. You can hear him kind of go, "Huh, that's weird," and then like some footsteps walking away, into the distance. Do you want to do anything else with the recording around this?
Well, I feel like I have to play it backwards.
Okay. Yeah. You run it backwards and you hear, that's, huh? Yeah.
Okay. Well, you just had to try.
Are you happy with that? Or if you want more information, make a SIGINT roll.
Okay.
You're SIGINT 60. You didn't really need to roll for that, but that's fine. Yeah. I should have looked that up and wrote that down. Yeah. With a SIGINT of 60, this would, occur to you immediately. So you sort of isolate the, his sounds, and like kind of, mute them and try to bring up the background. And what's a little bit harder to hear is just before you hear him say, "Huh, that's weird," you hear sort of a swell slightly of calliope music. Sounds like maybe like a circus in the background or something going on, and some whirring noise, like maybe a clock or some gears spinning down. And you can just make out footsteps, like a small person's footsteps. And that sort of, and then after, that's weird, and his footsteps lead away, then that all kind of like cuts off abruptly.
Does the small person's footsteps sound like they're wearing clown shoes?
Yeah, that's hard to tell. Although with the 17, you're thinking at least Mary Jane's.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
And you can pinpoint the time if you need to.
Yeah.
Let's say, it was. So you went up to the roof first, got your camera set up, and then came down and did those rooms. You started around 1:00. So let's say that this happened 2-ish. And then, you can get a specific time. So 2:12.
Yeah, there's nothing special about that time as far as I know.
All right, what do you wish to do with this information?
Huh. That's weird. I some Calliope music. And the sound of gears. I mean, I think she's just gonna take note of everything right now. I don't know.
All right. Did you
Yeah.
want to listen to any of the other recordings?
Yeah, for sure. I think maybe she might try just listening across all the other devices, but at the same time frame, like just to see if she hears anything anywhere else happening in the building at the same time.
Right. Yeah, in like the room next door, you can hear basically his footsteps and him moving around, but obviously like the room over kind of thing. You have to like really bring up the gain to hear it. So you can pick him up. Not really much anything else going on at the same time here. If you like zoom out of the of your audio file, zoom way out, and then just kind of like look for the peaks and stuff, you can find places where there's like a rise in the noise or something like that, and you can kind of home in on like about half an hour later or so. One of the other rooms you see that you pick up some noise, and when you go in to listen to that, it sounds like it's kind of echoey, so almost like there's so these apartments have multiple rooms in them, typically only like 2 sections or something, so kind of echoey in the way that it sounds like it's coming from the other room. It's not like right next to the microphone or something, but not really the next apartment over. You hear the sounds of an animal playing around or romping around. You think maybe like a large dog, possibly playing with a toy or something. You know how dogs get when they're having fun. You know.
Yep.
Just kind of, so I assume Greeby would also have some familiarity with that idea. So it sounds like a large dog playing with a toy.
In which room?
Let's say 3C. And Grimshaw went missing from 3B.
Okay. I think she would probably check. The last thing she would probably check would be the video camera from the roof, and then.
Yep, nothing really going on there. Some birds,
Okay.
Pigeons hanging out. Squirrel comes up over the edge and looks around, sees nothing, and leaves. There's not much up there. There's like a few potted plants in that little seating area that we mentioned way back when.
And then I think she probably would focus.
Yeah, you probably like Thomas Manuel or something goes up there, smokes a cigarette, something like that, comes down, because they do use that occasionally, but nothing out of the ordinary.
I don't see any people that we haven't already interviewed. I don't see
You haven't seen many of them, but nothing. You see no one that doesn't fit the description.
Okay.
It's possible that there is a woman who comes in the camera when you're suspecting that must be M.
Michelle?
Vanifitz. Yeah. She smokes a cigarette and then goes back inside.
Okay. Then I think she'll probably just sit there and go through the audio and video from the actual room that they're investigating. Just to see if anything happened while they were all out, while she waits for the others to get there.
Yep. The only thing on the recording for that room is you guys doing your thing.
Okay. Well, no, it would be... No, I want to look at it for when we weren't there.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So there's nothing when you weren't there.
Okay.
The only stuff that's recorded... Well, I guess the whole time is recorded, but...
Yeah.
The only people who are there are you.
Okay.
Nothing happens while you're not there.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. So what is the plan now? It's probably 7:30 or so after Greeby has figured this out and presumably informed you two of what she has discovered. What have you been doing while she's been farting around for an hour?
Gaucher just returns.
Oh,
Look, it is neither nicotine nor coffee. Something both you desperately need.
Thank you.
is it donuts?
It is not the cheapest meal, but probably something close to that. They didn't splurge on this one, but enough to fill someone up.
There you go. The very basic sandwich at the deli, and whatever side was on sale.
Thank you, Gaucher. It's not lost on me that Gourmet isn't the one that's providing the food.
He just likes to eat it.
I never said I could cook. He'll go over. Yeah. Well, you don't know where the name comes from. So yeah, he'll go over, look through the bag, pull something out, and just kind of mumble thank you. And when is dusk then?
Well, do you know? Does Gourmet have some sense of timing for what constitutes dusk and when it appears in New York?
Yeah, I mean it's at that time of year. I think back then. I think it's in the newspaper is when sunset is. So yeah. So he probably whatever the newspaper says is going to be sunset. He'll probably maybe like about 15 minutes before that. He wants to go to the staircase. So the highest floor is the third floor.
Yep, highest floor is the third floor, and then there's a little set of stairs that goes up to the roof door access.
Okay. He wants to.
8:01 is sunset today.
Okay. So about 7:40 or so. He's just gonna take a chair, sit down with his sandwich, and probably just keeping an eye on the staircase that's going up to the roof, and then just looking around.
Okay.
And he
and then you're probably aware also that dusk is like the time between sunset and nightfall when the sun is so deep that it's so dusk lasts for a while.
Sure.
And so far the reason I'm bringing up dusk is their only clue so far is a mention on a notepad about seeing the rooms at dusk. So
he wants to be there early, basically. To try
and
to
watch what happens as nightfall. So you watch the door, and it stays a door, and nothing goes through it in either direction while you're waiting there. It's coming up on like 8:30, 8:45. You guys haven't seen Gourmet in a while. Last you saw is he found a chair somewhere and went up and upstairs.
Yeah.
What do you guys
we have the microphones up there in the hallway too, right?
Well, that's true. Yeah, so you could talk to them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's not going to say anything. He wants to be as quiet as possible, so that if there's anything the microphones might pick up. So he'll probably sit there till about 9 or so, and then head back downstairs. So.
Okay. Yep. So while he's up there staking things out, what are you guys doing?
Well, I'm keeping an eye on the video because I want to make sure Grimshaw doesn't just disappear. Or not Grimshaw, Gourmet doesn't disappear like Grimshaw.
Gotcha. So did you go and install a video camera up on that floor?
I thought he was on the roof.
Nope.
Oh,
he's sitting inside at the stairs to the roof access.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go sit with him then. I don't think we should be. I'm not. No, we're not. No one's going wandering around the building alone anymore. So, I think we should stick together. Unless someone's. I guess. I think we should stay. She's gonna go with him.
All right. But that's gonna leave Gaucher alone.
Oh no, Gaucher! Like the minute they realize, wait, I've eaten my food and Gourmet's already gone. It's nobody's left alone after someone disappears.
Okay, then we all go up.
So the three of you are sitting there, passing the time.
Just really trying to be quiet.
Being quiet. Once
Gaucher
9
making
or
notes
so,
and brushing.
yeah, hits while trying to be quiet, does anyone want to do anything else? Or are you just following Gourmet's lead and being quiet and watching?
What else can I do let's still be quiet? Yeah, I think she's gonna read. She's gonna take the Nightsea book with her, and
Oh, okay. Start reading Nightsea.
yeah.
So, I imagine as they're sitting there, Gaucher is kind of looking over not the actual evidence, they would not bring that here, but their notes on the actual evidence. They're going to pause at something. I need to make sure that I'm actually reading this right. They remember something and they're going to gesture the others quietly. And they're basically trying to say, I need to go to the second floor for something.
Okay.
Because they remember on the map that included the mention of the night floors,
Yes.
there's 2 entrances. And one of those is directly in Michelle Fanfit's, well, I don't know if they know that's their room, but one of these is directly linked to an apartment on the 2nd floor.
Yep. Yeah, so currently you guys are here, near the stairs to the up, and you're saying you remembered something to the night floors here in this apartment. Yeah, so that would be apartment 2B.
Or not to be.
Which is the apartment, yes, that M. Van Fitz is apparently living in. So what do you want to check out?
Well, they'll kind of tap Greeby on the shoulder first before going. If I'm not back within 30 minutes, 2B. If I'm not back within 2 hours, assume the worst and evac. I have a theory. And without another word, they go.
All right, so this is how long after you guys set up? Just so I have a rough idea of what else is going on while you're gone.
Oy vey.
Shortly after 8? Or a little bit further?
Probably just before 9, maybe. Somewhere in that range. Between 8:45 and 9 p.m.
Okay. All right. So just a little bit before the time you guys give up, Gaucher gets up and slips downstairs. You're heading to apartment 2B, I assume?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Let me find the right information.
On today's episode of Is Minty Chasing a Red Herring or Doubting Themselves Too Much? Hey, red herring is still a fish. We still eat.
Okay.
Both are still muted when you're speaking.
I'm the one who's staring at stairs. So
Yeah. All right. So you go to apartment 2B, knock and or ring the bell. I guess we didn't. There's no bells, so you knock. On the first knock, you don't get a response. I assume you keep trying. So it takes you 3 knocks before you can hear a very distant sort of coming. And then it takes a few minutes before you hear the foot. Not a few minutes, but 30 seconds or so. Longer than you would have expected from the known size of these apartments. It's it takes a little. It doesn't take long to walk across the apartment. You've done it a few times to exit the door. So it feels like it's taking a little bit longer than that. Finally, you hear some footsteps coming and someone muttering under their breath. And then what is it? Who is it?
Hello, Mrs. Van Fitz.
Ms. Van Fitz.
Apologies. I am Agent Green with the team investigating Abigail's disappearance. I was wondering if you had time for a chat. I apologize for the late hour, but I assure you it's the soonest I could get here.
Right, and she like yanks the door open to the extent of the chain. ID.
Well, I can go back downstairs to grab it, but I fear that might take me a moment.
Okay, I'll see you when you get back.
Is she pissed or is she agitated?
She seems just like more brusque, like, it's night, you're interrupting my night, go away, kind of, not really, not angry, but just like grumpy. And brusque, and just sort of, doesn't want to deal with you.
Deep breath, wait 2 seconds, knock again.
You got that ID?
An ID would buy me 5 minutes. I only need 2.
Then you can talk through the door.
Very well. I understand this is very unorthodox, and I apologize for it. Now, I would like to bring up something that I have discovered during my investigation. I saw in one of her diaries that Abigail mentioned having a chat with you, and mentioned what was it, a novel, something with a red cover. No, it wasn't a biography. What was it? And they're pretty much trying to fish to see if she recognizes they're talking about the book from that interview.
Right. And she replies, I'm not biting. If you have a question, ask it directly.
Very well. When was the last time you spoke to Abigail?
Oh, it would have been... What day is it? Friday.
Insert date.
Right, Friday, the 11th. Sometime in June, I guess. It's been a while since I've seen her.
You haven't attempted to contact her since word has gotten around she's gone missing?
She's not missing.
If she is not missing, where is she?
Last I heard, she's up on the 10th floor.
I had heard that there's some difficulties getting to the 10th floor, and really many of the floors. I was actually wondering if you could provide some insight on that.
You'll get there when you're ready.
I would say the time's now. It is dusk, after all.
Well, you're not really the one who gets to decide.
Are you?
No, and I don't want to be.
You don't want to show people the way?
No, you have to find the way on your own. Which you'd know if you'd done the work.
I'm going to be very clear, Mrs. Van Fitz, because I understand our time is running short. Abigail needs to be found and seen on the lower floors before we can leave. And if she is not found, then we have to assume that someone took her. And if that is the case, the priority of our mission will change. And I very much would like to ignore that potential.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
Problems that concern the general health and welfare of the public are all of our problems. I just happen to be the one that had to clean them up. And, one more question before I leave.
Go ahead.
The clown. Or is he the night manager or someone else? Who is he?
The clown?
The night manager, Mr. Castaigne.
Yeah. Castaigne's the night manager. He's no clown. He's a stand-up guy.
Where can I find him?
In his office, usually. Or
And
doing maintenance around the building.
is his office, I assume, on the upper floors?
Yeah, it's just past the smoking room. You find that, you can find him.
Seems a bit greedy for you to have an entrance all on your own in this place, but I suppose it fits.
And she just busts out laughing, and you can hear her walking away.
They are pissed that they couldn't get in, and they're going to have to come up with a different plan later, and they go to return with the others.
All right. Not going to just kick the door down now.
If I had the strength for it, it would be tempting. I'm going to put that out there.
All right. So fairly soon after Gaucher disappears, you hear him stomping up the stairs, headed your way. You guys, what do you call it? Reconvene. And Gaucher, would you like to share?
I don't know the extent, but Van Fitz is knowledgeable of the abnormalities here. She directly referenced the upper floors and directly said we would find our way there if we, quote, did the work. She is more lucid than the others we have encountered. Either she is most recently infected and still has sense, or she was the one that brought it here. And Gaucher just looks the most pissed that they have ever been, as if they could go back and just, they would.
What was your theory?
My theory, and they'll grab the map, and I assume we're back in Abigail's apartment? Or are we still on the third floor?
My thought is you're still upstairs.
No, we're still upstairs.
You join them upstairs.
They'll pull out their notes and make like a rough sketch without any words, but just of like the blueprints. One of the maps showed that the second entrance to here was directly within Miss Van Fitt's apartment. Something that, when hinted at, she did not deny.
I think we may need to take a different approach with her.
I think we need to take an approach where she is not in the picture at all.
And just Gourmet is just looking like, are we in agreement?
We are dealing with one disappearance already. If we could avoid two, that would be wonderful. But sacrifices have to be made sometimes.
I think she's toying with you.
Most likely.
I don't know. Maybe try going back with your badge.
I don't think the badge would have done anything. She seemed as if she was ready to just shut it down from the start. But if we could find a way to force her out of her apartment without showing her hand, perhaps we could be onto something.
I work as a U.S. Marshal, and I am often tasked with entering a domicile to apprehend those who do not want to work with us. So I have no qualms about entering her apartment and bringing her out.
Would it blow your cover?
Probably would, but isn't he at like helplessness too? So he's starting to get a little frustrated with this whole thing, and he needs results. They have nothing.
Yeah,
they have no results. He's getting tense.
yeah. You have failed two it's sanity checks due to helplessness, but without going temporarily insane. So there's a bit of pent up helplessness there.
Yes.
What do you think she meant by we need to do the work? You think she's referring to the work of that we were hired to do, or something else?
I think it means something else. She didn't seem to react at all to the fact that Abigail hasn't been seen in so long, and even said she was on the 10th floor now. Abigail's moving further and further out. If we don't do something soon, we risk losing her entirely, if not already.
Okay.
All right. Do you?
Did we-
Wow. You're. Sorry. Go ahead.
Did we notice anything during the dusk period when we were trying to?
Nothing changed. Do you want to interact with the door in any way, or do anything other than sit there?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then, what do you want to do?
I mean, yeah. I think at dusk, I would go back up to the roof to see if anything has changed or not.
Okay. So you go up to the roof door
Yeah.
and you open it, and the door opens onto a very large, spacious, well-appointed, like clubhouse room. It looks like a gentleman's club from the 1920s or something. You've got, lush carpet, fireplace, lots of low, like gas lighting, and overstuffed leather chairs, that sort of thing. There's a fellow sitting across the room with his back to you. You can see smoke coming off from either like a pipe or a cigar. You can't quite see what it's from, but definitely bigger than a cigarette. And there's a glass of some amber liquid and ice sitting on the arm of the chair.
I'm assuming Greeby went by herself.
You guys didn't come with me?
Yeah, she just up a flight of stairs to a door.
I mean, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand why we need to try to get in through Michelle's apartment if we can just go up onto the roof. Like, why are we trying to? Like,
I'm not gonna.
Up to this point, you hadn't checked the door. So.
We hadn't.
I thought that had been.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
We hadn't checked the door yet. We were just looking to see if we noticed anything.
Right, because that could have happened, right? There could have been some sort of weird, fade effect, and everything turned into jungle or something.
So I'm thinking I can't probably see what she can see because she's kind of walked up.
Right. Yeah. So you would see like looking up, and then the door. Generally, roof doors open outward.
Mm-hmm.
So it pushes open, and you can see that you can't see the sky. So at first you're thinking, it's just overcast out. It's dark out. Where my eyes aren't adjusted to the sky or something because you're looking at the dark ceiling of this clubhouse room.
I'm gonna let Greeby
just like a dark sky.
I'm gonna let Greeby react first before I do anything. So.
Well, Greeby went up, so you gotta go.
We have comms, right?
Yeah.
You
don't.
I'm assuming she's about like
no, but you're
10 feet away from
you're just up a short flight of stairs away from him. Standing there, probably agog, looking into this room with your hand on the door.
Yeah, but you guys might want to come up here.
Okay, and he will.
I do not like the way you said that.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So you go up there and you see, what she sees: the smoking lounge. There's a, upon closer inspection, as you step in and get your eyes adjusted to the darkness, there's a it's not like super dark in there. It's just darker than the hallway you were just in.
What's it smell
which is reasonably well lit for safety reasons. There's a wet bar in the corner, like off to the right, like a small one, not one that you would necessarily sit at, but one where you like mix your own drinks. Mm-hmm. Looks like across the opposite corner, possibly a humidor or some sort of like closet of some sort. And like I said, lots of chairs. There's bookcases with, leather-bound books. You don't see any paperbacks. They seem, older. The whole place just gives you a vibe of, like turn of the 20th century decor. Anybody have, let's see, decent history?
10%.
Yeah. Go share
40.
10%.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are welcome to make a history roll, see if you can do a better placement than, this feels old.
Nope.
Yeah, it just seems like nice. You're like, oh, this reminds me of back home in Russia.
What's it smell like? I mean, is it smell?
It smells like pipe and cigar smoke.
Okay.
Good whiskey.
Okay.
Is there a bar?
A little musty.
You said there's a bar.
Like
yeah.
not very good ventilation.
You said there's a bar.
It does look like there's a small bar. Yeah. Do you want to check it out?
Ruby's going to go over, look for vodka. Assuming that there's some vodka, she's going to pour herself a glass.
Yeah, there's definitely a bottle of vodka. It's not cold.
And then she's going to light up a cigarette and then go sit down on the sofa next to whoever the fuck that is.
Okay.
Say good evening.
The fellow who's sitting there, he's holding one of the books. Looks like it came off the shelf in his hand. He's looking at it. And he closes it with his finger in there and looks up and says, good evening, ma'am. I don't think I've seen you around here before. And he blows a big old, puff of cigar smoke in your face or in your direction.
What are you reading?
Oh, just one of the many volumes from the shelf. I just grabbed something at random.
I started reading this first book in the Nightsea series. Have you read it?
No, it doesn't sound like my sort of thing. Nightsea. Is that one of them weird adventure novels?
Well, like the guy in I forget which apartment wrote them. One of your neighbors.
Oh, that Karen fellow. I hear he's a writer. Yeah.
What do you do? What's your art?
Oh, I don't do art. I'm a salesman.
You're a salesman. What do you sell?
Brushes.
Brushes?
Brushes. Yeah, I work for the. Hang on a sec. Oh yeah, the Fuller Brush Company. I'm one of their senior salesmen. I'm semi-retired. I don't get out as much anymore. I'm on vacation right now, as it is.
How long have you been on vacation?
What's it to you?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm just making conversation.
Poking around is what you're doing. Stay out of my business.
Have you seen Abigail lately?
Oh, Gail, yesterday maybe, day before, last week. Not really sure exactly what time, but yeah, I'd say lately. It's a good girl.
Is she around? I would really like to talk to her.
I mean, she's not here. You can see it's just, gentlemen, the four of us.
Is there anything I can use to prop the door open?
A bottle of alcohol, a book,
something heavy.
You can keep it from closing all the way with those if you wanted to prop all the way wide.
Yeah, because I'd like to just take a glance back. Okay, I can still see the hallway, still see the stairway, and then I look back here. Okay, so, or actually, maybe I'll just lean against the door to just keep it open. So okay. Okay.
Yeah. And when, when the fellow looks around and sees you guys and he turns back again, it's like, you're gonna lean there all day? That's some harsh light. You're ruining the ambiance. Make yourself a drink, sit down, grab a book, relax. Making me nervous. What is it with you people?
First time here, sorry.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Seriously, come on in, sit down, grab a cigar. There's in the humidor over there.
He's gonna look for something heavy that he can drag over and just place in front of the door.
The first thing that there's a potted plant. You have no idea how it's alive because there's
Yeah.
no windows that you can see in here.
That'll
But
work.
it seems,
That'll
one
work.
of them,
Yeah.
some rubber plant or something like that, something
Okay.
imported from
Okay.
afar.
That'll
I'll
work. And
drag
then,
that over and prop the door
Okay.
open.
okay. Then he'll take one more glance that he can see the stairway, and then looks back in. Okay. And then he'll wander over to the I guess to the wet bar, and he's just kind of looking around at. Yeah. Do the bottles look dated? Like, I mean, to me, look like brands like he's never heard of, or
Right, yeah. How familiar is Gourmet with alcohol brands?
I do believe they make vodka in Sweden, so he might know some vodka brands. Not really a drinker though, so
Not really a drinker though, so probably nothing jumps out at you as
Okay.
like particularly out of date or anything if you're not that familiar with stuff. I mean,
Okay.
alcohol brands can have some weird shaped
That's
bottles,
true.
but I'm not sure when they started doing that.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. Yeah, he's just kind of quietly looking around. He's gonna glance over at his his other compatriot, see what they want to do.
Right. Yeah. Gaucher, what are you up to?
Does Gaucher hear him call himself a brush salesman?
Probably. He's kind of. He's not quite as loud as say like Brian Blessed or somebody like that, but he's a bit loud. He's not trying to be quiet or anything. So yeah, you probably hear him when he says he's a brush salesman and and he's very proud that he works for the Fuller Brush Company. So you definitely hear Fuller Brush Company, if nothing else.
Strange. That's the second salesman I've heard of that frequents this building. The other sold encyclopedias.
No, don't talk to me about that asshole.
Bad blood, I presume.
Bad man. He's just odious. Nobody likes him. I don't understand what Gale sees in that asshole. Pardon my French.
I don't speak French, so you're fully pardoned.
I almost like you.
Many people find themselves in that situation. It's dangerous there, you know. Well, we're really here to just do a wellness check of sorts on Abigail. Her family hasn't seen her in a moment, and between you and I, they also share similar misgivings about this salesman, so they just want confirmation that she's alright.
Well, you can tell him I said she's fine.
Are there any other exits from here besides the door we came in?
Yeah, so if you wander around a little bit toward the other side of the room, like, there's some like 6 columns, set in the room. They seem more decorative maybe than anything. The room doesn't quite seem big enough to need like the columns, but they break up the footprint a little bit. And yeah, on the other side of the room, you can find a door to what you don't know. It's closed.
Okay.
Yeah. You gonna stay over there wandering? You're gonna wander around the room some more? What are you looking at?
He's gonna maybe just if the man looks like he's busy speaking to the others, Gourmet would just kind of gently put his ear up to the door. And
Yes, he's got they've got his attention.
Okay.
Put your ear up to the door. What might you hear? You strain for a bit. It's pretty quiet. You're basically, like hearing the ocean kind of thing. Just the sound of your blood in your ears. But, during a lull in the conversation, you think you hear maybe the sound of a typewriter. Click, clack, 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 clack.
Okay.
But it's like, you can't, it's faint enough that you're not sure if your mind's playing tricks on you or not.
Right. Okay.
When you turn around and like look back towards them, you notice that the door is closed and the plant is back where you got it from.
Shit. Okay. Well, I tried. I tried. So, sir, do you live here by yourself?
Well, no. as we've already established, Abigail and the jerkwad salesman live here. There's the night manager. I mean, it's a hotel, you dumbass. Who the hell you think?
Sir, there's no need to raise your voice. I was just asking a question.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you just call it a hotel?
What? Yeah, I'm staying in a hotel. Lots of people live in hotels. It's not that odd.
I've lived in similar places before. No judgment given.
My name is Vera, by the way. What? I didn't catch your name.
Oh, how rude of me. I'm Rourke, Mark Rourke. Good to meet you. Vera, you said?
Vera, yeah.
Vera. Is that your last name or your first name?
First name.
Ah, what's your last name?
Ivanov.
Ooh, Ivana.
I was waiting for Fawcett.
I was waiting for Bradley.
Yeah. Ruski, huh? Well, I don't have any problem with you, Ruski. I think you're just fine.
Well, thank you.
You maybe want to ditch these losers, get out of here.
Go where?
Go up to my room.
Sure.
All right. Well, gentlemen, it's nice meeting you. I'll see you guys later.
Bring the bottle of vodka with us.
Oh yeah, 2.
All right.
Sure.
All right. Excellent. All right, come on.
Well, I'm just hoping he's going to show me where the stairs are.
All right, so he heads over to the other door that Gourmet, found, and opens it up, and there's a corridor there. It leads off, and it looks like a long corridor with doors along the side of it, like a hotel or an apartment building or something. It doesn't really look like the Broad Albin. Sorry, not the Broad Albin, the McAllister building. So much. It's still got that sort of like Victorian, Edwardian, decoration style, like much older. Whereas the McAllister, some of the architecture is odd, still from having been built back in the 20s, updates along the way, more modern. It's got electric lights and that kind of stuff. This looks much older. Gas lights on the walls, that kind of thing. And it looks like, sort of impossibly, long. It's like, it would basically be leading off of the edge of the roof, at this point. Pretty much the room that you're in takes up the whole space that the roof would have taken up. And he holds it open and, like, ladies first.
I didn't see any ladies here.
And he slaps you on the ass.
It's gonna be a fun night.
It sure as hell is. Let's go. Later, gentlemen.
Okay.
And if you don't go first through the door, he will, give up waiting on you and lead on. So you following him down the hallway?
Yeah.
All right. What do you
Taking
two
a look
doing?
as I go.
Starts to leave.
Hopefully they're following not too far behind.
I don't know. You seem to be fine on your own as you. Because I heard the sound of a typewriter, and he'll mention that to Gaucher. Be like, I heard the sound of a typewriter nearby.
Do we really want to leave her alone with that?
I can handle him, don't worry.
I don't know. In a way, I trust her, but he's an unknown quality that seems a little agitated, quickly agitated.
And she's quickly moving out of your sight. The door that they just went to is swinging closed on its own.
Gaucher will put a foot to keep it from closing all the way. Like, not immediately going through, but just waiting a second.
All right, so you dash over. I guess you've been inching your way closer to this since you kind of seem to want to go. All right, so you managed to keep the door closed from closing. You can see them walking down the hall. they're getting further away. Eventually, it looks like they reach sort of a junction in the hallway. So, and they're about to turn to the left, and you're going to lose sight of Greeby. In 3, 2, 1.
Just before
Greeby,
they lose, they
how
go
close are you
in.
speaking to this guy?
I think she's probably, hanging. She's hanging back, a little bit. She doesn't want it to seem like she's not following him, but she's not like right on top of him either. Like she's actually, I think, trying to kind of like look him over and see if she can. But she's also like kind of looking around as she's walking.
Okay. So as
is there interesting architecture or art on the walls or anything?
Define interesting. The walls are papered with that sort of old, 1800s, what I think is gaudy, but apparently they like that sort of velvety red with the gold fleur-de-lis and that kind of stuff. Faded a bit. Looks like it's kind of worn, hasn't been updated in a while. There are some portraits on the wall, some landscapes, oil paintings. No photographs or poster prints or anything like that. All wood frames. Definitely older type stuff. A picture of like a ship at sea kind of catches your eye. Tossed in the storm, and for a second there, it actually looked like it was moving. And when you look, turn back around, Rourke has just turned around the corner to the left, and you've lost sight of him. And Gaucher, you see Greeby kind of like clock this guy going around the corner, and then she goes around the corner, presumably.
Yep.
And there's no sight of him.
Oh.
The hallway kind of goes like just a little ways on. There's no doors. It just kind of ends in a little seating area. There's like a little table and a couple of chairs, a couple of older books.
And so he just disappeared.
It seems to disappear, yeah.
Oh, gosh, that boy.
All right, so Gaucher, Greeby has just disappeared around the corner.
She's going to poke her head back around the corner to make sure. Gaucher's still there.
The minute they see her, there's relief. They make the sign of the cross, and then they just...
All right. Okay,
yeah. Look around here.
You gonna take a look around?
Yeah.
We should go grab Gourmet and not leave anyone alone.
Yeah. You think you hear the sound of a typewriter, like to the right, where the hallway would have gone if you'd have taken a right.
Oh. Okay. All right. I'll go back, and I'm gonna stop though there at the. I guess there's like a crossway. And motion at Gaucher that I can hear something like coming from the direction.
So Greeby, Gaucher's standing there with his foot in the door and his head kind of like pushed up to the crack, obviously trying to have some sort of sign language communication with somebody because you can see him gesturing. What do you do?
Gourmet stayed right where he was. He didn't budge. Yeah, so can he see them then?
Well, you can kind of see Gaucher. You can see a little bit through the crack. You can't see what he's gesturing at or whom, but it looks like he's, like come back.
Okay. Yeah, then he'll come over.
All right, Gaucher.
You
feel Gourmet, coming up on your shoulder there.
They'll
Are you going to leave the door?
Okay. Like for him to enter as well.
All right. Yep. So you guys are standing there, sort of, abreast in the doorway of a door that's held open and opening onto a hallway. It's a long hallway. You can see Greeby down, like 50 feet away at the junction. It looks like a T junction, and she's pointing off, like pointing to her ear and pointing down to her left, your right.
Gourmet's gonna pat his chest to make sure he still has his Glock.
Yeah, I assume you do.
Okay. He's just.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right.
I'm not sure that you necessarily had it before, but you certainly have it now.
Oh, I assume he always wore it because he's
Right?
His
Why
second
not?
precious.
You've got a carry permit, so
yeah. So yeah, he would have it with him. So, okay. Do we want to knock on the door?
The other guy just disappeared, guys.
yeah. So
Okay.
I assume you go down the hallway to talk to Greavy,
Yeah,
and don't make her come to you.
yeah. I don't care about him.
Yeah, but
Alright.
I mean, but he just disappeared.
He'll find us if he wants us.
As they're talking, Gaucher is making marks on the back of their hand, making like a little mini direction list, because this many long winding hallways in a place they don't know, that there's probably not a map beyond what they've already seen. Prime way to get lost, and could possibly be what got Grimshaw. So they are not wanting to repeat that.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, the three of you are standing at this T junction. You can see down the hallway where you came from. The one door at the end is closed. You've got the several closed doors along the way. To the left, as you would have come to the T junction, is like the short little seating area where Rourke disappeared. To the right is another like long hallway that just seems to go down. You can't. It's long enough where you assume there's a junction at the other end because it kind of looks like it, but the lights sort of flicker on and off. It's a little difficult to see past a certain point. But you can definitely hear a typewriter coming from down the hallway.
And we haven't seen any stairs yet.
Nope.
Okay. Do
I
we
mean,
want?
do we? Yeah.
You want to?
No, go ahead.
I'm actually changing my mind what I want to do. I'm almost thinking, do we want to mark on the map typewriter and maybe start to look for stairs?
We want to check all the other doors along the hallway
Oh
before
boy.
we go down the right.
Hmm.
Or I mean, what's our goal? Are we looking for stairs to try to get to the 10th floor to try to find Abigail?
That's what I was thinking. Because we could spend days, months checking all these doors.
I have
But
a
we don't.
feeling that we are very close to the source of this contagion. The longer we stay here, the more at risk we are of infection. We need to find Abigail, assess if she is salvageable, and bring her home if so. And if not, we deal with the contagion.
Right. Well, I guess where do we think
Yeah.
we're most likely to find stairs? Behind one of these doors or down the hall?
There's obviously no signs on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't really notice any anything on the doors other than like some numbers, that kind of thing. Nothing like labeled.
Yeah.
I mean, does it look like we're in a hotel?
It has it looks like you're either in a hotel or an apartment
Yeah.
complex of some or apartment building of some sort.
The,
More like a hotel.
the decor is making me think this is an era where they didn't have to tell people where the stairs and exits were. So that's why it's not.
There's no little safety sign on the wall.
There's no OSHA.
Really labeled. None of that.
Okay.
None of that pansy shit.
Exactly.
Right. Although,
Oh my God,
I
what
guess if this is a hotel, chances are there would be numbers on the doors if they were rooms. But if it was stairs, there wouldn't be a number on the door,
Right. At the most, it'd be labeled stairs.
probably. So if all the doors along the hallway have numbers on them, then we should probably keep looking
Mm-hmm.
and not bother going into those rooms and
Yeah.
maybe finding a clown. Just saying.
Yeah.
That would
While
be
you guys are
preferable.
standing there deliberating down the new hallway, let's call it, about 4 doors down, door opens, and you see like two arms reach out and set down a box. And you can let's see if you hear anything.
I'm gonna regret asking this question. How
Yeah,
long
we
are
don't really
those
hear
arms?
anything. Oh wait, yeah. So when the door opens, you can hear like the sound of like applause, as if like you're backstage at a theater or something like that. You can just hear, ah, yay! So like two arms. They look like African American, maybe darker Hispanic, not Caucasian. Sets down a box and then the door closes. And what were you saying, Mindy?
I'm going to regret asking this question, but how long are those arms?
Impossibly long.
That is a good question.
They like Elastic Man long?
Yeah. I mean, you didn't, like, no one's head came out or anything. So they only just sort of stuck out a little bit. So it's kind of hard to say whether or not they were attached to a normal-sized human.
All right, as long as there's that plausible deniability, my sanity is almost safe.
Yeah, make a sanity check.
God damn it. So about that.
Yeah, you're you so take one point of damage, as you are not quite certain that they weren't really extra long arms. The more you think about it, the more it was hard to tell.
Gosh, is just staring at the door, just...
Yeah.
I do not like
What
this
does
place.
the box look like?
What's in the box?
Don't open it. There's a head in it. Who knows?
What does it look like? It is a cardboard box with the, the top kind of like, I don't know, it's like 20 meters, several doors down, 20 meters or so. So, from where you're standing, it just looks like a cardboard box with the, the lid down. You can see that there's some sort of writing on the box from where you are, but that's about it. You guys.
All right. I'm going to start moving down the hallway.
All right, Greavy's heading down the hall toward the box door.
Let's go.
Gaucher's muttering many things that none of them are good about this place. But they're following. They hate it.
When I get to the box, I guess?
Yeah, okay.
I'm not going to open it. I'm going to kind of like nudge it with my foot to get a sense of how heavy it is.
It rattles. Sounds like there's glass inside.
You said there was writing on it?
Vials or bottles. Yep, there's writing on the side. It says, DeCraig Corporation Limited, Kemper and Whitehorse Street, Chicago, Illinois.
Oh my god, that's too much for me to type.
Wait a minute.
I'll type that in the chat just so you guys can see.
Wait a minute. My brain is itching. What was that address?
Kemper and Whitehorse Street, Chicago, Illinois.
What do I roll to see if Gaucher makes a connection?
What kind of connection are you looking at? What kind of roll to make a connection? I guess just check intelligence.
Because the player has realized something, but I'm not sure if Gaucher would at this moment.
Gotcha.
Since they weren't the one that found this information, they was just shared.
Success. What did you notice that I missed?
The architect of this building, from Gourmet's research, originated from Chicago before moving to New York.
True.
And he made buildings there along with this one. It could be a coincidence, but something is telling them something is off about this.
Mm-hmm. What are you thinking?
Gourmet, when you researched Darabandi, was it?
Mm-hmm.
He did work in Chicago as well, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Gosha, give me a sanity check.
Alrighty.
See, this is where I catch up on everyone with the sanity losses. It's fine. It's okay. We're cool. Everything's fine. It's a little less fine now, but it's okay.
He designed strange, misshapen constructions that he called thought buildings between 1905 and 1921 in Chicago.
So no damage, no sanity damage, but you have the distinct impression that this building might be connected to the building in Chicago.
Yeah, and that's why I'm also starting to wonder if that stationery we had with a hotel name is this place. But it's not
Greeby,
like
for the first time being up here, actually looks a little bit shaken, I think. A little bit whiter.
Okay, make a sanity check versus helplessness. Critical success.
Sweet, that's my third helplessness check.
You have to fail it and not go insane to mark it.
Oh.
So you just succeeded in not in your sanity check.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're getting yourself under control. But yeah, that feeling of helplessness, of being unmoored, starting to worry.
I don't like the connection to Chicago.
It is reminding you of Chernobyl.
And if you all notice that when the previous room we were in, I tried to block the door and it was closed. I don't know if we're able to go back.
Assuming that nothing about this place has changed from when that note happened, perhaps the access to this place only occurs at dusk.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Which,
What'd you say? Perhaps the what now?
they're saying, if the connection to this place seems to be linked to dusk, that hasn't changed since when that note was written. Meaning, as long as we can get this done before dusk is over, then we should be able to get back.
Gotcha.
How much time do we have left?
What time does one watch say now?
Have been in here. I don't know. Who among you probably has the best sense of time? Probably Greeby, being a line cook, because you're always having to focus on stuff like that. You think you've been in here probably 20, 25 minutes? Time talking with Rourke and then following him down the hallway and stuff. So, it's like 9:30. Well, no, I guess it was a little bit before 9 when you guys tried to come through the door. So, like 9:15, something like that. What is your guess? You have a watch, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The clunky ones from back in the day.
Yeah.
How long does dusk
see it.
normally last?
How long does dusk last? Dusk lasts about 74 minutes, from sunset to full nightfall. Not something that Greeby would know. I had to look it up. And then there's 3 grades of dusk. You've got civil dusk, which starts when the sun is 6 degrees below the horizon. Then you've got nautical dusk when it's 12 degrees below the horizon, and then astronomical dusk when it's 18 degrees below the horizon.
So you might be an astronomical by now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
in Palia, it lasts for 3 hours in game.
Yeah. So, by the time you guys were going through the door,
Exactly.
it was pretty much close to the end of dusk and going straight into night.
Okay.
So we're fucked already. Is what you're saying.
We can go back. We can try to work our way back to where that door was.
And come back tomorrow night.
Yeah.
What?
Gaucher just grabs the box of bottles and immediately is trying to get back to that door because they need evidence.
Yeah, let's head back, see if we can find that door.
Okay, so you turn around, you head down the hallway, you make a left.
Mm-hmm.
As you come around, you can see, down the hallway, it just seems to extend for a while. You don't see the door at the end that you came through from the smoking room. As you
smell smoke?
No, not really. But as you start to go down the hallway, you see about 4 doors down, a door opens and a man comes out. Turns away from you and starts walking down the hallway. He's kind of like pointing at the doors as he goes by.
Excuse me, sir.
And a few doors down, he stops, grabs the door and says, 27. Opens the door and walks through. Didn't seem to hear you at all. Can't tell if he was ignoring you or if he just didn't hear you.
It wasn't Mark, right? I'm assuming.
It was not Mark. This was a different fellow. He was. Let me get a good description. Tall, a little bulky, Caucasian man, balding. He's wearing a short sleeve button down shirt. Well, how can you tell he's wearing a button down shirt? Because he has a Boston Red Sox windbreaker on over it. So he's wearing a Boston Red Sox windbreaker over some sort of shirt.
Okay.
I guess you could see his shirt when he came out the door and then turned away from you. But yeah, just seemed like a regular fellow, but wearing a obviously sort of, nylon Boston Red Sox windbreaker. And just like slacks of some sort. Chinos, maybe. Hard to tell, not jeans.
All right.
And,
Gourmet's getting a little frustrated here.
Do you try to follow him through the door? Do you sit down and cry? What's your plan?
Take a deep breath.
Yeah. Because when he explodes, he's going to go completely apeshit. So,
do we follow this guy, or do we continue to look for stairs, or do we follow the sound of the typewriter?
I guess we're stuck here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not think about that right now. Let's focus on what was our original goal when we came in here. Find the stairs. Find Abigail. Focus on that.
All right. While you guys are deliberating, the door opens and the guy comes back out, turns down the hall, and starts walking away from you again. Again, like he's tapping off doors.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, the Red Sox suck.
Yeah. No recognition whatsoever.
Okay.
You don't know if he's deaf or really good at ignoring you, but probably not.
Okay. Had to try.
And you hear 28. He opens the door and he goes through.
Are we able to figure out where he came out of?
Yeah.
All right, let's walk up to that door then.
All right. Yep. So, the door that he came out of? What do you do?
Just touch the knob, just turn it, see if it opens.
Yep. It's not locked. It opens up. It's like a empty hotel room, basically. Single room.
Okay.
There's like a queen size bed. Very sparely appointed. No other exit.
Same style of decor. It's not, suddenly 1970s or,
Oddly enough, it does seem like a bit older, like, maybe 40s or 50s.
All right. Closes it. Not going in.
Yep. And you can, of course, go to the door that he just went through if you want to check that one.
What do you guys think? I think we're a wild goose chase at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the smoking lounge is on the 4th floor based on that play.
Yeah.
So we still have... She's moved up to 10. There's 6... Yeah, there's... Gotta be stairs around. Or an elevator? We have an elevator back then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This building didn't have one with only 3 floors, but... All right. So do you check out the other room that he went into, or you guys going to stand in the hall and talk? Or do something else?
Might as well check it out.
Okay. You go over there,
way,
open it.
I don't know, I feel like that way leads craziness.
It's another, empty hotel room. Looks decorated slightly differently, like it's from a different decorator, but he's not in there.
Okay.
Make me a sanity check.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Tell me what he's doing. Tell me what Gourmet's doing. Oh.
Doing what you tell me.
Yeah. So lose 1 due to the unknown or unnatural.
Okay.
So this is a good one to fumble on because
yeah.
It wasn't a die roll. It was just a straight 1. Otherwise, I'd have made you take max. So what were you about to say? What's Gourmet doing when he opens the door and goes, wait, there's nobody here?
There's nobody in there. Okay. He's not going in though. He's hesitant to go indoors and not be able to get back out. It's almost like he has issues with being trapped. So he's just gonna close it and
Close the door, and then you guys move on down the hall in a particular direction. What's your aim? I know your aim is to find stairs, but
yeah.
What's your next action?
And the hallway just looks like it just goes on forever, right?
It looks like as you've gotten closer to where he was, that there's another T junction at the end of the hall.
Go to the next junction.
Greeby's gonna start moving faster,
Okay.
and
All right.
she is just, if the room has a number on it, she's assuming it's a hotel room, and she's moving on. She's looking, she is coping by focusing in on the task at hand, which is find stairs and find Abigail.
Okay.
And
Okay.
she,
All right. So, Gaucher, what is your main focus right now?
To Gaucher, if they've already missed their window, they have a minimum of 24 hours in here. They're going to follow, but they're doing their best to remain calm. They're also going to put the box of bottles down and open it up.
Okay. So, as Greeby's walking away, you're sitting down and opening a box of bottles.
Wait.
Well, they're going to grab one of whatever. They can't carry this box forever. It's going to wear them down, but they can carry one pretty easy.
Okay, so you can do that. You can reach in, grab something, and then still follow her. All right. Gourmet, what's your focus? Your main focus right now?
He's basically in the middle going, Greeby, wait, and looking at Gaucher.
Okay. All right, yeah, well, that's what you're doing immediately. What's your focus? What's in your mind?
Find the stairs.
Find the stairs. Okay, you're focused on finding the stairs.
Same as Greeby. Find the stairs, find Abigail.
Okay.
Just
Gaucher,
didn't want us to get separated.
yeah,
so.
Gaucher and Gourmet, give me sanity checks as you are following Greeby.
Hey, nice.
Okay.
Let's do the right button.
Ooh.
Not
Okay.
nice.
Yeah, Gourmet. Yeah, you're walking along with Greeby. Yeah, there's numbers on the doors. You're down with that plan. Yeah, if there's no number, check it to see if it's stairs. Gaucher, you would swear and be damned there were no numbers on the doors when you came through here. But as soon as you turn the corner and start following Greeby, every door's got a number on it. Give me a -1 to your sanity.
Every luck I've had with sanity checks on the skin level surface world has now fully faded.
Yep. All right, Greeby, yeah, you're going down and you're just seeing number after number, 102, 76, 510, 2. There's numbers on all the doors, but they don't seem to make much sense. What's going through your head when you notice that?
fuck this place.
Can we start a fire and burn it down? So.
Yes.
We just got to find a way out first.
Okay, this is not working.
Yeah.
All right.
We're not to the junction yet, are we?
At the end of the, let's see. Yeah. So the next junction. You come to a junction, and there's actually a door at this junction and a T that goes off to either side. The door at this junction is not numbered. It's actually a double door, and you can hear the sounds of music from the other side, like a waltz.
Okay.
Don't like that. At one point, we are going to have to go through at least one of the doors or make contact with someone in this building.
Well, I think we should go through these double doors.
Sorry, was that should or shouldn't?
Should.
Okay.
Because she was looking for doors that didn't have a number on them, so she found them.
Okay. I would say Gourmet's probably the tankiest, maybe. So,
But yeah, she might pull her pistol out at this point.
yeah.
Mouse, give me a sanity check.
Okay.
Yep, you're good.
Okay.
She's seen worse shit so far, anyway.
Yeah. Gourmet is just going to check his Glock, make sure this it's still loaded. So, and he will probably just take it out and just kind of put it like behind his back. And
time I leave my gun. And
oh, go ahead.
No, Gaucher's just like frustrated, just muttering the one time I leave my gun, and is just waiting for the other two to enter.
And Gourmet is just going to reach his hand out to the doorknob and just look at the other two like 1, 2, 3, and he's gonna. Does it open in?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's just gonna twist it and just like throw the door open, and just kind of pull back to the side.
Yeah. So the one door that kind of opens, and the other door, sort of swings slowly because it didn't get quite as much of the force. But yeah, they sort of open up. It opens onto a large ballroom. There's people dancing around in a waltz. They seem to be dressed in costume, like it's a costume ball or some sort. Nice little parquet floor. Some tables along the side of the wall with white tablecloths on them and like a punch bowl and that kind of thing.
Does Greeby hear Gaucher say the one time? Did you say that out loud, Gaucher, or did you just say that? Okay, she's gonna
they
stop.
said that out loud.
And in Russian to you, she's gonna ask you, "Do you want the 9mm or the 357?"
Slowly turns with the look of what the fuck? You have two.
Of course I have two.
Doesn't everyone?
Yeah, right? Why don't you is the more obvious question.
Man, your parents let you have two pistols?
I barely remember my parents.
Gaucher just nods. Whichever one you're less comfortable with.
I hand you the 9mm.
Tuck in the back and ready to go.
All right. Yeah, so you're standing just outside this ballroom. People are dancing by. What do you do?
Guess Gourmet will step in.
All right. Gourmet steps in.
Kind of still keeping the pistol kind of behind his behind his
You're
back.
looking around, inspecting everything, doing the Gourmet thing, checking the doors and corners. And you notice as this couple comes by, there are strings going up from the couple to the ceiling. It's human-sized marionettes dancing along.
Human-sized marionettes or actual human marionettes?
You take a closer look, and they look like marionettes. They don't look like people on strings, but they're very well-made marionettes, very people-like, lifelike. And everybody, as soon as Gourmet notices the one couple, and I guess Greeby too, since you picked up on that. You notice everybody in this room is a marionette. The strings just go up into the darkness of the ceiling. You can't even see where the ceiling is. Sanity check. Everybody.
Yippee!
Oof.
Ow.
Oh,
right,
finally not so much.
Yeah, if you succeed, costs nothing. If you fail, roll a d4.
Okay.
Let me remind myself on how to...
Woo!
I succeeded, so okay.
Oh, and of course, Minty
Ow.
Max.
Oh,
Owie!
man.
Listen, Gaucher's just over it today. It's fine.
What do you want to do with this information? They seem to be completely ignoring you. They're just enjoying their dance, doing their thing. There's people sitting at tables along the wall with, servers serving them drinks. Everyone seems to be on strings and moving along. Whoever's operating the server is doing a great job because they don't spill a thing.
Are any of them like actually talking, or is it just like the pantomiming of it all?
Yeah, now that you mention it, no one seems to be talking. Everything's in pantomime and motion. They'll like raise a glass and a toast, and drink. And there's less liquid in the glass. You're not sure where it went. That would be worth a sanity check right there, but I'm not going to make you.
I wonder what happened.
It doesn't like run down their face or pour. It's just like it actually drank.
We should leave this place.
Yeah.
Is there another exit other than the one we came in?
Yes, you'd have to cross through the ballroom or skirt around the perimeter to the other side.
Right. I'm gonna start heading that direction, and as I go, I'm gonna grab a drink off one of the service trays.
Okay. Yeah.
And immediately just toss the whole thing back, and then put the glass back down and keep walking.
Right. The little marionette server kind of gives you a little bow and moves on.
Stay focused, Greeby.
Are you going along the perimeter or cutting across the floor?
I'm gonna stay along the perimeter.
He's just gonna follow Greeby.
Okay.
Gaucher's following as well.
All right. So you guys make your way around the floor. At some point, a lonely male mannequin sees Greeby coming and gets up and bows and offers his hand and to dance.
You're busy, Greeby.
I reach back. Who's behind me? Is it Gourmet or is
Gourmet?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And link my arm through Gourmet and sort of just like pantomime, like like I can't.
Right. Oh.
I'm already.
Yeah.
And he pulls out a hanky and grabs his eyes, and turns to ask someone else to dance.
Okay. I'm not sure I want to let go of Gourmet.
No. And if she tries, he's just gonna pull harder.
Yeah.
Like
you're not really sure what
creepy
the ones that are ignoring you or the ones that actually interact with you, and because it seemed you fully understood this creature. It looked human. It almost felt human to you in a very disturbing sort of sense. It gives you awful thoughts about puppet masters and the world around you, and really kind of tweaks into your general paranoia.
Yeah.
Let's get
She's
to the
not. Yes.
Yes.
Do another sanity check.
No,
lose one
sanity.
No. Okay.
Auto
she does
fail
not.
because it taps into your flaw.
She does not let go of Gourmet immediately.
Yeah, he's gonna lead the way over to the door.
All right. Yep. So you make it around to the door to the other side. It's another set of double doors. You open it up. Pull them open. Opens onto another hallway. You've got a hall to the left, hall to the right, and a hall straight ahead. Both that at first glance seem to go on quite a while.
Before we leave, he's just gonna say, "Let's just try one thing." He's gonna one of the servants, or there's still any near us?
Yeah, you could flag one down.
How can we find the stairs? Okay. Yeah. All right, that's fine. He doesn't like mimes anyway.
Yeah.
I think we would take a listen at the juncture, and do I hear the typewriter again?
Are you listening to see if you hear the typewriter?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear the typewriter again.
Which direction?
To the left.
You want to try to get to the bottom of this typewriter noise?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna find these stairs.
All right.
Or at least not with how we are operating.
Yeah.
Well, how else are we supposed to operate?
Something tells me that the logic of this place is not follow the logic of our home. We don't know how it works here. Perhaps talking with someone that can speak could give us insight into this.
Well, I was trying, and then he disappeared.
I'm not criticizing your efforts. I am merely saying that perhaps our logic won't work here, at least not as effectively.
Well, none of them spoke. The one who could speak is gone.
Well, maybe whoever's typing.
Yeah.
Well, worst comes to worst, we start a fire and see where everyone runs to.
You know, that's not the worst idea you've ever had.
The fact that it was a joke is what concerns me. And it's the fact that it's not the worst I've had all day to myself either.
Let's try to find this typewriter.
Yeah, let's not die a fiery death just yet.
Okay. You walk down the hallway toward the sounds of a typewriter. And then, pretty quickly you determine which door it's coming from.
Okay.
Simple door. Just says 616.
I don't like that. There's too many sixes. I don't like it.
At least it's not 626, and Stitch would be in there. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's not 666.
Or 666, yeah. So.
999.
Flip it upside down. Oh no!
What do you do?
Not lightly.
Yeah.
Okay, you knock politely, and then abruptly the sound stops. Now what?
I'm gonna lean in and put my ear up to the door to see if I hear anything.
Can't seem to make anything out.
Okay.
Sounds like an empty room.
Try the handle.
Door opens onto.
Does it open up onto the Marvel universe?
Perhaps. It is an empty
Sorry,
room.
Galactus is there.
I couldn't resist. You did
Oh, that was a great reference. So,
Yeah. Wait. Oh, just going the wrong way in the book here. Hang on a sec. There we go. Yeah, opens onto an empty room. There is a bed to the left, a desk up against the wall, curtains on either side of the desk, like they're covering windows. The desk has a typewriter, a glass of an amber liquid of some sort, and a cigarette smoking in an ashtray. Do you go inside?
Can I do an occult check on the number 616 and see if anything stands out to me?
Sure.
Fuck. Yeah. Okay.
Nothing really jumps out at you. I mean, it's like you can think of a few different like numerology methods where you could make it make sense, but then that's numerology. So
Well,
it's
yeah.
kind of an
Player,
lead.
player knows the biblical reference, but character does not.
Oh, there's a biblical. You'll have to fill me in on that one later so that I can work it in.
What did you not pay attention in Catholicism school? What are you...
Well, I know 666, but I don't know. What's 616? The beast's mom?
No.
50 years younger.
Gourmet. Well, who knows? I'll look at Gaucher before he does anything.
If we don't change how we are going about this, we will be lost. And as much as I despise this idea, we need information, at least on how this place works. I will go in. Do not let this door shut behind me. If it does shut, do not attempt anything. Continue with the mission.
Okay, looks like Gaucher's going in. Gourmet's holding the door.
Gourmet's going to hold the door, yeah.
Greeby, you going in or staying out?
I'll go in. I'm not leaving. I'm not staying out in this fucking hallway by myself.
I'm curious to know if there's any writing, if there's paper. If there's paper in the typewriter?
Oh, that's what Gaucher's going to check to see is there paper there, because they have a weird feeling about something.
Yep.
They writing the play?
Boy.
Yeah, so this is an older typewriter if you're going straight to it to check it out. I'm going to say maybe Gaucher knows a little bit about typewriters, just from your journalism background. And you definitely recognize the brand. It's a Remington Remet. You couldn't place the age of it, but definitely like early 20th century to mid 20th century. This is an older manual typewriter. And there's an assortment of blank pages that are scattered about the desk. There is no paper in the typewriter, as though it was like pulled out. You can see just like a little ripped bit of paper, like still stuck in the roll, as though the page was like ripped out like too fast. But no writing that you can see. Plenty of blank pages. On the floor to the left of the desk is an antique phonograph.
Is there some?
Go ahead.
Is there like I forget if the phonographs use like those tubes things. I don't know names. I apologize. I am a baby. But is that currently in them?
It's not a tube. It's a record. So it's but it's definitely an older record. So as you examine this thing, it starts to play. Like as you reach for it, it like kicks up and starts playing a song. Give me a sanity check. You haven't touched it yet, and yet it started playing as though it read your mind. And it's playing a song that goes on.
The consequences of my actions.
Yeah, and there, it's sort of a little folky kind of tune. General simple lyrics. You notice something, something in the chorus about what happened to Abby. Just like kind of generic sort of.
Hold up.
Songs.
Something in the chorus about what happened to Abby.
Yeah. And then as that thought starts to cross your mind, you realize you've seen this phonograph before. Being carried down the street behind a tiny dancing clown.
Nope, the minute that memory comes in, it's not just a walk with purpose, it is the closest you can get to speed walk out the door.
All right, I'm going to guess you then fail your sanity check and go ahead and take that 1 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Yep.
What was on the paper? What?
Nothing. If there was anything, it was taken.
Where did they? But was there another exit from the room?
Nope. No other exit
No
from
bathroom
the room.
or anything like that.
As you kind of look around, it's pretty messy. I keep losing my place. There it is. The room's a mess. It's covered in like sweat-stained clothes, old vintage. Definitely nothing modern. Again, like mid 20th century or earlier. Discarded bottles of what looks like possibly bootleg hooch, labelless bottles with like little dregs of amber liquid in them. And it just reeks of old smoke and alcohol.
And no windows?
There's a small suitcase on the bed.
Actually, you said there was a window. Yeah.
I said there were 2 curtains flanking the desk. Yeah, it looked like they cover windows.
Oh, okay.
But when you check them, there's no window behind them.
Okay. Sorry.
Nope, that's
Want to check.
perfect.
Still holding the door.
Right? And pointing. Yeah, check the window. Look in the bathroom. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm not leaving my post.
Yeah, and actually, there's no bathroom. There's just like over in the corner is like a sink. So it's like the dorm room I lived in, back in the day, where there was like a sink in the corner, but you needed to go down the hall to actually use the bathroom and the shower.
We didn't even have a sink. So
What's
anyway.
in the suitcase?
Some more clothes. Yeah, just like a few pairs of looks like unsoiled underwear. There's some initials on a little brass plate on the side, JCL.
Check it for a false bottom.
Okay. You can't find one easily. I assume you whip out your knife and like slice it, and you're like, oh no, it's a. So you just ruined this vintage suitcase.
Make sure nothing's hidden in there.
It's already a well-worn, beat-up old suitcase, but.
JCL. What if we think about wanting the opposite of what we actually want? Like, what if we all try to focus on the opposite of what we actually want? To see if it helps the material. Like, see what I'm saying?
Make a sanity check, because you're not making any sense.
Am I not making any sense? Like,
this is like Billy and Mandy opposite day.
Right. So
the building seems to be giving us the opposite of what we're looking for.
Okay.
What if we
look
for the opposite of what we want?
You wanted to hear a typewriter and you heard a typewriter.
Oh.
You wanted to find a door with no numbers on it. You found a door with no numbers on it.
Well, I want to find stairs, and I haven't found that.
Maybe you just haven't tried often enough. But this realization that you might be able to control what's going on here in the building requires a sanity check.
From everybody. All right.
Okay.
Suck it!
Yeah, good roll. So,
yes!
Oh, yeah. So
We're back on track.
You are all reasonably uncomfortable with this idea that, no, that can't be it. That's just coincidence.
Not quite.
There's
no coincidences. Didn't you say that before, Gaucher?
I see.
Well, yes, but
so you were insisting that there's no coincidence here. Where's my little note thingy there? Ow!
The booming voice of the eldritch above screams at us. There's no such thing as coincidences in our world. I'm not sure we are in a world that we control anymore. I think we are in a space connected to the unnatural. Whether it is unnatural itself or just influenced by it, I'm not sure.
So you're suggesting we just speak to the air and say the opposite of what we're trying to do?
Well, or not.
Does it read our thoughts?
Well, I mean, the phonograph turned itself on before Gaucher even touched it.
Wait a minute. Where did Abigail get all of those items in her room? Do you think if we perhaps think about what was in her room, there might be connections to the path she took here? There were items in there she had no reasonable way of obtaining, and yet we found very much here. If anyone said something, everything cut out for a second, so I couldn't hear.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
no,
you cut out for a sec too.
Just listening.
But it's not like you said that you may be finding stuff here that Abigail.
They're not wanting to say the part about the clown out loud, because if they do that again, they're going to think about it, and if they think about it, that contagion risks spreading. Don't think. But all I'm saying is, Abigail had obtained all this clutter, some of which she could have obtained normally. But some of it, I doubt she could have obtained on her own, at least easily.
I think she's
Whereas-
definitely been through here. I think collecting things.
If we could perhaps find some evidence of a trail or a path she took and follow it, it could lead us either to her or to the way out. We just have to remember.
Oh, no, I was going to say, we're supposed to be on Operation Alice. Isn't that what it's called?
Operation Alice is what it's called. Yep.
Okay. Who gave it that name?
Marcus gave you that name for it. Some presumably either him or someone above him in Delta Green.
Okay.
That's usually that's your basic understanding of how it works.
Okay.
So
somebody had an idea that maybe we're going into Wonderland.
Well, if only we had the book here with us.
And we're trying to follow Alice through Wonderland. I don't know how to do the opposite of what I'm seeking.
Well,
Maybe
Can we step out in the hallway and say, I wish room service would not bring me a pizza?
try it, because I'm kind of hungry.
All right, yeah, he will lean out in the hallway and say, it would be really upsetting if room service came by and brought us a pizza. Yes, don't taunt the hotel, but he is. So.
nothing really happens after that.
Greavy's gonna step out next to him and be like, I really fucking want a pizza right now.
The door opens down the hall. Pipe down! I'm trying to sleep. Door slams shut.
Fuck.
As
The
you're
door
looking
that
down
just-
the hallway toward where the person leaned out and said, pipe down, you see at the junction just a little bit further down from there, two people run by. Like they're being chased, not like they're running for fun. They're not jogging, but just like, like looking behind them and running.
Hey, what's going on?
About the time you finish saying what's going on, three more men maybe come running by from the, like obviously following them. They're wearing gas masks, like World War II, World War I kind of, gas masks, and they're carrying big shotguns. They're rushing after these people.
Gourmet hits the deck.
And then you hear blam, 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 and then quiet.
He'll stick his head up and look around.
Seems safe. No more. What do you do? If anything.
Smell smoke from gunpowder.
If you wait long enough, you'll start to smell. Yeah.
Okay.
We smell blood.
As it wafts down. You're not going to smell blood from this far away.
Okay. Then he'll stand up. He's going to draw his pistol and look around. Does he see anybody?
In the hallway with you? No, just these two.
Okay.
Do you wish to investigate the?
As a law enforcement officer, I'm generally bound to do such things. I mean, he's not a paladin, but so he doesn't have to. He's gonna just keep his place. He's just kind of looking around.
Okay. Yeah. How about you two? You just saw two people get chased and then hear shotguns fire and then dead silence. Are you concerned at all?
Are they real? Like,
I don't know what's real here.
Is anything real?
Are these just ghosts? Memories of things that happened?
Maybe this place is real, both then and now. Could it? But it would explain things, but... And Goshe's, like, got that, oh no, another idea is coming that is definitely going to harm me.
You guys are definitely verging towards voluntary sanity checks here. Figuring things out. All right, so what's your next action? It's just about 10 o'clock. Sounds like we've sort of, I don't know, reached the end of your rope. You guys seem a little desperate. What are you thinking? What's your plan?
Goshe is going to try and go to the door where someone stuck their head out and knock on it to wake them up again.
Okay. You knock on the door. Nobody answers.
Go to open the door.
It's locked.
Oh.
Bong! 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 A huge, huge. How can a chime be huge? But, right, you get that sense of like there's this chiming sound and it just like permeates everything. It's super loud. It scares the crap out of you to the point where you suddenly find yourself with your gun in your hand and like, searching for whatever the hell that is. All three of you are just like,
do not shoot me with my own gun, Goshe.
Right? So, Gourmet, you had your gun out, right?
Yeah.
Greeby and Goshe, did you have yours out?
They do now.
Yeah. If you didn't have it out, you do now. I need you all to make sanity checks.
Okay.
This is versus the unnatural. I see 3 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, good. Yeah. So no sanity loss, no accidentally shooting anyone, no panic. But yeah, it's just like it's just so sudden. There was no lead up to it, but there was just like these 3 chimes of gong, gong, gong. And it's left you kind of shaken, a little bit rattled, but you're held together. You've definitely got a sense that something is crazy about this place.
Yeah, no shit.
Yep. You seem to be on the right track in terms of figuring out that it responds to your needs, wants, maybe will, but you just quite haven't gotten a grasp on how to make that work. You are left with a impression that perhaps you're just a little too sane for this place to work properly.
Gourmet.
Mm-hmm.
Could you draw that first symbol that we found in Abigail's room on the wall?
Yeah.
From memory.
Yeah. I don't know if he has a pencil or a pen or something in his pocket.
Yeah, as soon as you think about it, you do have a pencil or pen in your pocket.
I'd like a Sharpie, actually. No.
I would like a fucking pizza.
Exactly. Yeah, okay.
Which, granted, it's Hawaiian.
Oh.
Right, so you've got your Sharpie. We're going to draw it on the wall.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a sanity check.
Okay. Oof.
All right. One moment.
Uh-oh.
Oops.
Yeah.
Well played, Gaucher. Why don't you draw the thing on the wall?
Exactly.
It's not their precious.
Exactly. Not
But I
letting
do
anyone
want-
else. Not letting anyone else draw it.
Tears off piece of the wallpaper. My bigger precious.
Okay. So as Gourmet is, doing this symbol on the wall, Greeby and Gaucher, you hear him say, "Have you seen the yellow sign?" Gourmet, you don't realize you said anything.
The yellow sign. Have we seen a yellow sign since we came in here?
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah.
Does that mean? Did you say? Have we seen? Did you say? Does that mean anything? Gotcha.
So yeah, have we seen a yellow sign since we came in here?
So Gourmet Greeby's talking about yellow signs. You have no idea what she's talking about.
No. This is just the symbol we saw. I just drew it.
When you drew
just
it,
said.
I didn't say anything.
Gaucher, did you hear that?
I did.
I think I'd clearly remember if I said something, and I did not.
Would you?
Greeby, Gaucher, give me a sanity check. This is for helplessness.
Ooh.
Dang.
2 failures. Okay. It's a D4.
Can we check off another box?
Which means you'll have to be able to check off another box because there's no way you can get 5 and temporarily go insane.
Shit.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah, so you realize that Gourmet has no idea the words that clearly came out of his mouth, and you are just overwhelmed with the helplessness of feeling like you're lost in this place. You're never going to get out. You feel like the walls are closing in on you. It's getting hard to breathe. Maybe your vision's darkening a little bit, and we're going to stop there for the night.
Well, that's tragic because I think Gaucher just hit breaking point.
Okay, yeah. All right, so I'll make a note of that, and we will deal with that next time.
What does it mean when you check off helplessness 3 times?
So you are now inured to helplessness. You cannot lose sanity due to helplessness. So anytime a roll comes up and I go, give me a sanity check versus helplessness, you can go, nah, and thumb your nose at it. Same thing for if
good or is that bad?
if you manage to fail sanity checks versus violence 3 times without going insane, then you can mark that off.
I don't think that's happened yet.
No, we haven't actually seen much in the way of violence. It's been either unnatural or helplessness. Yes, so thank you everyone for watching. We're going to leave our crew trapped in the night floors, but with maybe some semblance of how they can escape at the for episode 1 of next season. Is that a good cliffhanger? Seems like a good cliffhanger.
I think it is. Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, it's going to be at the moment we're scheduled for August 14th. So please be sure to come back. We will let folks know when we're ready to pick this up. And who knows what gibbering messes they will be when we start up again.
In the meantime, you can fill your Thursdays with some Werewolf, the 20th anniversary apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
How's it go?
Yep, Werewolf the Apocalypse, the 20th anniversary edition. We are kicking off the second half of season 4. Actually, next Thursday, we have 2 new players are joining the game. Their faces you've seen before, including Q is going to be one of the players joining us. Another is our friend Synergy. who played in the original vampire series, Sophia by Night. He's going to be joining us. And yeah, we're going to play a couple weeks of Werewolf, and that should take us through the end of June, July, and then we come right back to Delta Green. So please be sure to come back and join us. Yeah. All right. Anybody have anything they want to plug? Anything going on? Minty, you got anything going on?
Hi. I'm still recovering from Onyx PathCon. It was a great opportunity. Beyond that, not much else. If you want to see me, stick around here, and I might pop up. I might not. I might be in your closet right now. I might actually be the clown. Who knows? Like, really. You'll have to tune in more often to find out. Maybe I'll be, like, flitting around. In the background in your walls.
Alrighty.
Yes, that picture on your grandparents' wall that was shot in 1923. Look, there's Minty.
Don't worry about the face paint. Don't look at the color. Don't look at the bodies.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for watching. If you're watching us live, or if you are watching us on YouTube, we appreciate your support. Please be sure to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all again soon. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Night.